Good morning, everyone. This is Linda from Lilybug's Library. So I'm just wrapping up Mystery May. I think I did pretty good for my first one. So there's a few we've already talked about. I had finished Cavaliered to Death. I finished A Spirited Swindler. The Dead Girl in 2A. I didn't finish because I didn't like it. The last couple we have to talk about, I did finish one that was not part of Murder Mystery May, and that was My Husband's Daughter. I finished that for book club. It was good. I'd probably give it about 4 stars. The story was good. It has to do with this woman who shows up at her ex's house after she hasn't seen him for years, and shows up with the daughter he didn't know he had. And then as time goes on, they figure out why she showed up with this daughter. And he and his wife had already decided they weren't going to have children. Now all of a sudden he's got this daughter, and it's basically a story about how they kind of navigate that and figure out what they're going to do, and whether or not they could take care of this little girl. And um, it turned out there was a few twists and turns there that you don't expect. So it turned out pretty well. I was happy with it. Um, I don't think it held my attention quite as well as some books have, which is why I gave it a 4 instead of a 5. But it was good. And the other one I did for Mystery May was Filigrees Fortunes and Foul Play. And it was a cozy mystery and one of the first ones in the paper crafts mysteries. I do a lot of paper crafts, although not the one they talked about. They talked about quilling. And I know that that's taking little tiny pieces of paper and wrapping them around this needle sort of thing and then gluing them onto paper to make like flowers and different things. Sounds a little too persnickety for me. So it's like, I don't think my fingers would do all that. But it was interesting reading about it. And the story itself, I thought was really good. It too had a lot of different twists to it, and you were thinking the whole town, kind of seemed like they were a suspect in this person's murder. They all had reasons that they wanted her dead. She wasn't a very nice woman, and so there was a lot of every time you thought you knew what was going on, there was a good twist, and it was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not them. So I really enjoyed that. And a little bit of a slow burn sort of romance there too, that was just kind of starting to kindle a little something. So that was nice too. So yeah, the whole thing, I would actually give that one 4 stars as well, just because I thought it was pretty well done. The other one, let's see. Oh yes, the other one was A Dead and Stormy Night. So I really enjoyed it. That was the one that I had told you about that had the characters of Heathcliff and a few others. And don't know if I had when I talked about it last. I think I was still reading it. Can't say for sure, but I think I was. Um, but it turned out really good, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it well enough that I bought the second one. So that was I guess that was my only downfall to it, is the fact that it was the way that it ended. It wrapped up, I guess, the main theme, but then it's like you want to see where these characters are going and what's going to happen with them, and for that, you need the second book. So what can you do? But it turned out well, and again, the only thing that I would say is if you don't like a book that has, kind of um, steamy scenes in it, um, then it's not the book for you. So it didn't. Do I think it added to the story? Not really. Um, I mean, it was fine, and it didn't bother me, and but I don't think it really added to the story. And if anything, I think it kind of made the main character look a little bit desperate. but but otherwise, it was a good book. So yeah, I'd give that one 4 out of 5 stars as well. So otherwise, it's just been a fun weekend. We had a masquerade murder mystery party, so that was fun. Nice group of people, and we ate and had a few drinks and solved the mystery. And so yeah, that was a lot of fun. Um, and it was a really good murder mystery because I bought ones before that came in like a box, but you can only play them once, really, like with the same group of people. If you played them the second time, you would know what was going to happen. It's like, no, that's not as fun. This one I actually got off of Etsy, and it was really good. It was you printed everything yourself, but the great part is everybody got a secret letter, and so then the secret letters all get put in a jar, and halfway through the night you pull out a letter, and whoever's letter that is, they're the murderer. And so then they just change their answers to questions from the innocent answer to the guilty answer. So it's nice that way because you could play it, a ton of times, and it would never be the same murderer. And even if you played it with the same group of people, it would be different. So I like that. Um, we've got some wildfires going on in the area and some structure fires. So there was a lot of emergency alerts that went out yesterday. Close enough, we packed a bag just in case. But so far, it seems like they've, if not, I'm not sure if they have it under control or whether they are just, they're doing the best they can, of course. But I'm not sure whether, excuse me, I'm not sure whether it's completely under control yet or not. Oh, I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet, so my voice is still a little off. Um, so that was yesterday. And so I was wondering if I was going to be up and down all night with emergency alerts, but after I went to bed, there hadn't been any since then. And then this morning, my my issues have been of a technical nature. I'm trying to get used to editing videos and trying to get good equipment to do the videos. And I bought what was not a cheap webcam rather than using the one in my laptop, but I can't get it to work. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Might have to have my son come out and walk me through it, but it doesn't seem difficult. Like really, it should just you plug it in and it should work, but it doesn't. And what I'm using for the video is not picking up on it. So anyway, it's a Logitech, and it's supposed to be a good model, but so far no luck. So that's it for this morning. I do have the June is going to be romance month, just because I think of June with like June weddings and things like that. So that one's going to be romance month. I've got all my romances picked out to read, and I'm going to start those in a couple days, and I will send a video then too. The only murder mystery we didn't talk about, Agatha Christie, and then there were none. Enjoying it, but not finished it yet. That's the one that wonderful husband and I read at night. So usually by then we're tired, and it's only a few pages each night. So we aren't quite there yet. I think it used to be called 10 Little Indians, I think someone told me, and then they changed the name. But basically, it's all these people that come together in this on this island, thinking that someone has invited them there, and they all think it's for a different reason. And then it turns out there's no person there by that name, and there's a record played that tells them of all their sins, their past deeds, the times they've killed people, whether it was an accident or whether it was on purpose or whatever it was. And then people start getting killed on the island, and each person that's killed, there's like a little Indian statuettes on the table, and each time someone's killed, one of those is moved. And they also have these framed poems, and the poem is, I think, called 10 Little Indians, and it talks about how each person is going to die. And so they're just kind of starting to wrap their head around that, and now they're realizing it's got to be one of them. So they're all pointing fingers at each other. And I have my theory as to who is the murderer, but that could change 10 times before it's done. So far, so good, anyway. So yeah, I'll fill you in on that when we do eventually finish it, but we're probably a few more days before that'll happen. All right. So I hope you have a great day, everyone. And I know it's Monday, but let's hope we can have a good one. And if not, let's hope our coffee is hot and fresh. All right. Bye bye.